They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But when Disney copied Netflix, no one was flattered. They were worried. You see, Netflix was once the undisputed king of streaming, but Disney wasn't going to stay silent for long. In 2019, Disney Plus launched and changed everything. Armed with Marvel, Star Wars, Pixar, and classic Disney, they came for Netflix's crown, and people noticed. 10 million subscribers signed up on day one. Meanwhile, Netflix had a decade-long head start and global dominance, but Disney had a secret weapon: nostalgia and franchises. Netflix had to fight back with originals like Stranger Things, The Witcher, but Disney's arsenal was built in Avengers, Mandalorian. While Netflix spent billions developing IP, Disney already owned it. Still, Netflix innovated with binge drops and algorithmic recommendations. Disney, however, played a long game, releasing weekly episodes to keep you subscribed, and it worked. The Mandalorian wasn't just a hit, it became a cultural moment. Netflix responded with quantity, thousands of originals from every genre. But critics said Netflix was losing quality for quantity. Meanwhile, Disney Plus stayed focused, family-friendly, franchise-heavy, globally loved. Yet Netflix had the upper hand in international expansion. It dominated India, Europe, and Latin America. Disney Plus struggled with rollout and content localization. Still, Disney had theme parks, merchandise, and synergy. Netflix had content. Disney had an empire. In 2022, Netflix faced its first subscriber loss in a decade. Stock dropped. People panicked. Was the king crumbling? Disney Plus surged ahead, minus 100 million users in under 2 years. But then cracks appeared. Lower ARPU, slowing growth. Netflix struck back with an ad-supported tier. Disney followed. The war was now ads, bundles, and global scale. Netflix entered gaming. Disney leaned on ESPN and suddenly the war wasn't just content, it was ecosystems. And that brings us to today. Netflix is pure streaming, built from scratch. Disney is legacy media, transforming for the digital age. One is tech, one is storytelling, tradition, but both are gunning for the future of entertainment. So who's winning? Well, it depends on the scoreboard. Netflix has global reach and breadth. Disney has brand power and depth. One changed how we watch, the other owns what we love. And the war, it's far from over. But here's the thing. This story isn't just about Netflix and Disney. It's about every streaming service fighting for your time and attention. It asks about how legacy media companies are taking on tech giants, and it asks about how the audience has more power than ever. You see, back in the early 2010s, Netflix was in a league of its own. They disrupted an entire industry. They took risks. They experimented and they won. But then the competition arrived. First it was Hulu, then Amazon Prime Video, and then Disney Plus. Suddenly, Netflix wasn't alone at the top. They had to fight for their crown, and they did with originals like House of Cards, Stranger Things, and The Witcher. But the competition wasn't standing still either. Amazon had the Rings of Power, Hulu had The Handmaid's Tale, and Disney had, well, everything. The battle lines were drawn and the weapons of choice were franchises, nostalgia, and of course, money. Billions and billions of dollars. And then something interesting happened. The audience started to push back. They wanted more control, more choice, and more value. They pushed for ad-free plans, better recommendations, and of course, lower prices. And let's be real, who doesn't love a good price war? Now, it's not just about who has the best content or the most subscribers. It's about who can adapt, innovate, and listen. It's about being the best, not just being big. As they say, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And let me tell you, the fall is going to be epic. In fact, why don't you make a prediction? Which way do you think it will go? Will Netflix stay on top, or will Disney take the crown? Comment below, because let me tell you, the competition is heating up. Now look, I could have ended the script there, but I couldn't resist a little bonus. So here's the thing. Every great story needs a great villain, and in this case, the villain is none other than, drumroll please, cable TV. Yes, the bloated, expensive cable TV that we all love to hate. Just think about it. When was the last time you actually watched cable? Do you even have cable? Anyway, with all these streaming services, we've cut the cord, gone digital, and embraced change. But what if I told you that there's a new threat on the horizon? A threat that could put an end to all our streaming joy. Enter the villain's henchmen, the greedy, money-grabbing corporations. They're out to ruin everything. Wait, what am I talking about? This is a feel-good family show. Let us talk about something more pleasant, like the soothing sound of your wallet getting fatter with every passing day. How about that? Stay tuned for more updates.